you a moment of pause. So my children and I were in a situation yesterday in which they were receiving a service. My kids were receiving a service, and the people who were involved in providing this service were engaging in racial microaggressions and at certain points outright racism. In this situation, it made me think about the responsibility that parents have in teaching race. I've talked about what racism is before, and we know that racism is all of the systems, structures, institutions, and also behaviors, thoughts, practices that uphold a racist hierarchy. What that means then is that parents have a great deal of responsibility, a great deal of power in teaching lessons about race. And we tend to think of it as white parents have a responsibility, or white parents have power in teaching lessons about race because of the racial hierarchy. However, it's important to really consider the role that Black parents and Asian American, Hispanic American parents also have in teaching racialized lessons. That even as we experience microaggressions, even as we experience racism, it is also true that our kids are learning lessons related to how we respond. We are, in fact, teaching them how to respond. My hope is always that if we as individuals and the adults, the guardians, the parents, the modelers of behavior, if we claim to be anti-racist, not just non-racist, right, but actually anti-racist, if we claim to be anti-racist, then that necessarily will carry over into our parenting practices. In fact, I would suggest to you that one of the ways that we can gauge whether or not we are anti-racist is by listening to the things that our children say to us about others and about themselves. And so, as we parent, again, we have a responsibility if we claim to be anti-racist. And if you don't claim to be anti-racist right now, we can work through what it means to be anti-racist as an individual, and then how that carries over into our parenting practices. So that's my challenge actually for all of us, for myself as well, thinking about how my children perceive me in situations in which we are all experiencing racism and what my response is to those behaviors. So that's my challenge. It's kind of a heavy challenge. It's difficult to think about. But go ahead and put in the comments, how do we engage in anti-racist parenting? All of us. All right. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.